But every year for Hanukkah, she shipped them ostentatious presents that belied her total lack of understanding of, or interest in, their lives. "Help me spread it out." They unfurled the pristine tablecloth over the weeds and sand. Beth put on the rubber gloves and closed her eyes for a moment. Then, with sure, steady movements, she rolled the dead seal onto the fabric, folded it in, and dragged it to the hole she'd dug. Jack stood there, hopping from foot to foot, while her mother buried the seal deep under the sand and brush, then shoved the now putrid tablecloth into the trash bag. "So, first Wednesday in October," Jack said. Beth held her breath. The day was coming when Jack wouldn't want to go out with her mother for a foot-long at the Hot Diggity and a movie at the Bootleg Drive-In a farmer in Salinas set up behind his barn. Jack was 15 now. She had a job. Soon she'd have boyfriends and car loans, and a life that didn't revolve around their little house by the slough. Beth knew how good it felt to break from your parents and make your own way. She just didn't want it for Jack. Not yet. "It's sci-fi slasher night," Jack grinned. "You'll get home on time?" "Of course." Beth had been pulling extra shifts at the nursing home, trying to save up for Jack's college tuition, but she wouldn't miss one of their drive-in nights. Jack charged back up the hillside to gather her stuff and bike to school, but something held Beth to the spot on the beach. She looked down at the freshly piled sand beside her, then out to the fog blanketing the slough. She realized she was looking for a disturbance, a ripple in the water, someone to bear witness alongside her. But that was foolish. With her jacket sleeve, Beth wiped a smudge of dried river mud off her face, then ran a hand through her short, sun-streaked hair. There were no mourners in Elkhorn Slough, no murderers either. Only death, natural and brutal, every minute of the day. Leopard sharks hunted flatfish in the muddy depths. Otters cracked open crabs. Even the algae, blooming green and full of life, sucked the pickle grass dry beneath the water's surface. Beth picked up a moon-shaped piece of sea glass from the beach and placed it carefully on top of the mound. A pelican dive-bombed into the slough in front of her, resurfacing with a fish wriggling in its gullet. Beth was inexplicably reminded of her mother. Lana's sharp beauty, her biting tongue, her relentless hunger to swallow life whole, bones and all. Her mother had never visited Elkhorn Slough, and no one had ever been murdered there. But there was a first time for everything. Chapter 1. 300 miles south, Lana Rubicon laid sprawled on the dark slate floor of her kitchen, wondering how she got there. Her interest was not philosophical. She didn't want to know how she'd arrived on this planet or which of her Greek ancestors had blessed her with wrinkle-proof olive skin. She wanted to know why she'd collapsed. What was making her feel like a drunk at the carnival on a Wednesday at 7 a.m., and whether she could still make her 8 a.m. investor meeting. She turned her head in small, careful increments, trying to get her bearings. Her briefcase and snakeskin heels were waiting for her in the front hallway to the left. To the right, the stainless steel door of the fridge was wide open, bottles of mineral water and pre-made salads lit from within, as if they'd come from heaven instead of the Gelson's delivery boy. A gooey liquid streaked across the floor from the bottom of the refrigerator to the side of Lana's head. Lana put one hand to the matted hair at her temple and pulled it back for inspection. Her French-tipped fingernails were sticky and pink. Not blood. Yogurt. Lana decided it was a sign the day could only get better. After 5 failed attempts to lift herself off the floor, Lana slid her phone out of her jacket pocket. She wavered for a moment over who to call. Her daughter was a nurse, could be useful, but Beth was 5 hours away.